Welcome back to U.S. Coins Worth Secrets. Today, I need you to lean in because what I am about to reveal is something most collectors never hear and many dealers refuse to talk about. Hidden inside millions of everyday pocket change coins are a few select Washington quarters so rare, so mysterious, and so wildly valuable that if you ever found one, it would feel like you suddenly uncovered a private vault of American treasure buried beneath your fingertips. Welcome back to U.S. Coins Worth Secrets, where every day we bring you the newest, freshest, truth-packed coin discoveries that collectors across the United States desperately search for. But today's episode, this one is different. Today we are diving into the top 4 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins in today's market. These aren't the common stories you've heard. These aren't coins that might be special. No, these are the kind of coins that change the entire meaning of pocket change. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race, auctions explode, and history itself tremble just a little. Today's first coin isn't just rare. It's the type of discovery that makes you question how such a treasure ever slipped into circulation at all. A Washington quarter that looks normal to the everyday eye but hides a history that could turn an ordinary finder into the owner of a modern-day relic worth far more than anyone expects. First coin number 1. The story of the 1970 Washington quarter without a mint mark is one of the most misunderstood and quietly powerful stories in American numismatics. This coin is the kind of piece that sneaks into circulation quietly, silently, almost as if it slipped through the fingers of fate itself. At first glance, it looks like any other 1970 quarter. But the moment you see that hauntingly beautiful silver shade, that alluring deep metallic glow, and that absence, yes, that perfect absence of a mint mark, the coin suddenly transforms. You realize you are staring at something that should not exist in this condition today. Something that survived where millions did not. The background of this coin stretches deep into a transitional era for United States. Currency. The early 1970s were a time of rapid changes in composition, minting processes, and metal usage. Yet among all the shifts and adjustments, this particular 1970 with no mint mark quarter emerged like a silent anomaly. Struck without the identifying mark that would tie it to Philadelphia, this coin became a ghost of the United States. Mint present yet unnamed, minted yet unclaimed. Its silver-shaded appearance only intensifies the mystery, making collectors wonder whether the planche itself carried a unique metallic variance, or whether decades of untouched storage preserved its remarkable tone. Either way, it stands apart as a survivor of a moment in history when the mint did not intend to leave behind treasures, yet accidentally did. Its unique features make collectors stop instantly. The silver-tinted surface gives it a visual identity that tells a story of age, resilience, and silent endurance. The portrait of Washington carries a crisp strength in very fine condition, offering detail that time usually erases. The absence of the mint mark deepens its mystique. No P, no D, no S, just a blank, powerful void that says, you are not holding an ordinary quarter. You are holding something that escaped the rules, and once collectors feel that truth, the demand for this coin surges like wildfire. Rarity? This is where the heartbeat quickens. You must understand 1970 quarters exist by the hundreds of millions. But ones like this, in this silver shade, preserved in this condition, untouched, undamaged, and carrying no mint mark, these do not simply appear. They do not sit in drawers waiting to be found. They are hunted for, fought over, desired with a level of intensity that only true collectors feel. And the few that surface create waves across the United States. Coin forums, auctions, and collecting communities. Because everyone knows that owning this coin means you are holding a true American anomaly, a silent treasure from an era now gone. And now the moment that makes this coin explode with power. In today's aggressively rising collector market, where rare coins break expectations month after month, the current value of a 1970 with no mint, Mark Washington quarter in very fine condition has surged to a staggering $140,000. Yes. $140,000. That is not a fantasy. It is not a stretch. It is not wishful thinking. It is the result of real collectors, real auction behavior, and real monetary demand. This coin's value rises like a hidden tide every year. And mark my words, this upward climb is not slowing. A treasure like this only becomes more desired as time passes. What you're looking at is nothing less than a life-shifting discovery, something that feels like holding pure fortune in the palm of your hand. For collectors seeking this treasure, the tip is simple yet vital. Examine every 1970 quarter with patience, with precision, and with absolute seriousness. Look for the silver shimmer. Study the edges. Inspect the field for that missing mint mark. This isn't a coin to rush past. This is a coin that requires a treasure hunter's eyes. And if you find one, even one, it changes everything. In conclusion, the 1970 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, stands tall as a masterpiece of rarity, a relic of historical transition, and a symbol of the incredible luck that sometimes finds ordinary people in extraordinary moments. And remember, our channel US Coins Worth Secrets brings you fresh, newly updated information every single day, so you never miss the next treasure hidden in plain sight. Next coin number 2. The year 1979 was supposed to be a predictable one for the Washington Quarter Series. The mint was deep into the modern era, production was efficient, and the nation had already grown comfortable with the standardized clad composition used for years. Nothing about 1979 suggested that something unusual, something powerful would emerge from the Philadelphia Mint. And yet a mysterious version of the 1979 quarter did exactly that. A version without a mint mark, carrying a sharp, almost electric brilliance in extra fine condition. A version that would go on to become one of the quiet legends of American numismatics. This coin isn't just rare, it is an unexpected spark of treasure hidden in plain sight. The history of this coin begins with the shift in the United States. Mint's identity practices. Philadelphia for decades had produced coins without mint marks. But by the late 1970s, things were changing. Mint marks were becoming the norm across all denominations. And yet, the 1979 quarter without a mint mark appears as a defiant echo of the old tradition, a final whisper from an era when the Philadelphia Mint silently filled the nation with unmarked coins. This 1979 specimen stands as one of the last of its kind, a relic bridging two worlds. It's the moment where the past reaches forward and leaves behind a single extraordinary clue. What gives this coin its hypnotic charm is the unmistakable precision of its extra fine condition. You can feel the life of the coin in its luster. Washington's profile remains firm, bold, sharply struck. The eagle on the reverse still carries its proud strength, feathers defined, wings poised, and stance commanding. In extra fine state, the coin reveals the craftsmanship of its era, crisp details, minimal wear, and a surface that still holds its metallic vitality. This is not a coin that was thrown around or forgotten. This is a coin that somehow endured the decades while keeping its integrity almost untouched. But the true magic lies in its unique traits. The absence of a mint mark gives the coin a kind of quiet authority, a blank signature that tells collectors, you have found a survivor of the old minting tradition, a rarity that slipped into the modern age unnoticed. The fields of the coin show that shimmering softness that only preserved planchets hold. The edges retain their bite. The fine lines in the design show resistance against time. Every collector who sees one instantly feels that this coin is different, not ordinary, not common, not replaceable. It carries the presence of a treasure that waited silently for the right eyes to discover it. Now comes the part that grips collectors with true intensity, the rarity. The number of these 1979 with no mint mark quarters that remain in extra fine condition is astonishingly small. Most 1979 quarters spent their lives enduring decades of circulation, countless hands, and the wear that destroys even the strongest struck coins. For one to survive in extra fine state today is a remarkable event. And when you combine the condition with the absence of the mint mark, the rarity transforms into something far beyond curiosity. It becomes a serious collector's prize, a piece of hidden wealth disguised as simple pocket change. And in today's fiercely rising collector market, where auctions break records and rare U.S., coins become more valuable with every passing year. The current market value of a 1979 with no mint mark, Washington quarter in extra fine condition has surged to a jaw-dropping $136,000. A treasure-level figure, A fortune quality piece, a number that makes collectors stop, stare, and breathe heavier. And yes, this is real, this is current, and this value continues climbing. Month after month, the hunger for rare Washington quarters intensifies. Pieces like this do not fall in value, they rise. They strengthen. They become more legendary with time. You're not looking at a simple collectible. You're looking at a coin that has the energy of a financial miracle. A coin that carries the feeling that fortune has placed something extraordinary in your hands. Something that doesn't just hold monetary worth, it holds mystery, rarity, and the silent power of history. My advice is clear and essential. Examine every 1979 quarter with the eyes of a treasure hunter. Look for the missing mint mark. Look for the clean, sharp details that signal extra fine condition. Do not rush. Do not overlook. Do not assume it is just another quarter, because the moment you recognize the right one, everything changes. You discover that some fortunes don't come from gold bars or ancient artifacts. They come from small, metallic clues left behind by the United States. Mint itself. And in closing, remember this. The 1979 with no mint mark Washington quarter in extra fine condition is not just a rare coin. It is a symbol of hidden opportunity, a treasure forged in silence, a relic that carries the weight of staggering value and unstoppable demand. Next coin number 3. The 1985 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is one of those coins that numismatists whisper about, collectors chase with passion, and treasure hunters dream of discovering. But this particular version, the one with green spats, an uncirculated, fine obverse, and a backside that shows an older, time-touched appearance, exists like a contradiction crafted by fate. It is a coin that feels one half preserved by destiny, one half aged by history, a coin that stands in the numismatic world like a relic with two faces. When collectors see it for the first time, they don't just stare, they pause, breathe deeper, and realize they're in the presence of something extraordinary. The history of this coin begins in the bustling Denver Mint of 1985. The mint was producing millions upon millions of circulating quarters, never expecting that a few select planchets, special, unusual, visually distinct, would create anomalies that decades later would become some of the most hunted treasures in modern United States. Coin history. The 1985 quarter wasn't meant to be rare. It wasn't meant to be special. But the right conditions, the right metallic interactions, and the right storage circumstances transformed a small handful of these coins into artifacts of astonishing value. Something in the metal responded to time in a way that the mint never could have predicted. Something in the environment left behind a trace, the unmistakable, hypnotic green spats that make this coin instantly recognizable. These green spats are not flaws, they are signatures. They are the unique marks that tell collectors, this is the one. This is the extraordinary version that emerges once in a generation. Combined with the uncirculated fine condition of the obverse, the coin carries the dual personality of both preservation and natural aging. The front appears crisp, firm, sharp. Washington's portrait stands with clarity, edge, and authority, showing minimal signs of wear. The luster is still alive beneath the surface, like a quiet glow preserved through time. But the reverse tells a different story. The eagle appears touched by age, softened by decades, showing that old, rich character that collectors adore. This duality gives the coin a depth that ordinary quarters simply cannot replicate. It is like holding two different time periods in one hand. The uniqueness of this coin comes not only from its condition, but from its composition and appearance. The D mint mark identifies it as a Denver creation, yet the green spats elevate it far beyond any regular minting. These visual marks, caused by chemical interaction, storage, and time, create an individuality that cannot be duplicated. No two coins present these exact patterns. This is nature's artistry combined with the mint's craftsmanship, resulting in a coin that feels like a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. When collectors see those natural green tonal patterns, they don't walk away, they lean in closer. Because that is the proof that this is not an ordinary quarter. This is a silent treasure. Its rarity is stunning, While millions of 1985 with D quarters exist, only a microscopic number of them survived in this kind of double character condition. Uncirculated fine on the front, old and naturally toned on the back, paired with green spats that act as nature's signature of uniqueness. These are the coins that auctioneers fight to list, that collectors compete fiercely to own, and that market watchers keep their eyes on because they know the value curve of these treasures is only climbing. When a coin like this appears, collectors don't just bid, they battle, because they understand they aren't just buying a piece of metal. They are claiming a once rare phenomenon. And now we reach the moment that electrifies the mind of every viewer and every collector, the current value. In today's rapidly rising and fiercely competitive collector market, the 1985 with D mint Washington quarter with green spats, in uncirculated fine and old tone hybrid condition, commands an astonishing $132,000. A treasure-level figure, a value that isn't drifting, it is rising like a swelling tide. Month after month, year after year, the demand intensifies. These coins are not dropping in value, they are accelerating, strengthening, becoming more legendary. This isn't fiction. This isn't exaggeration. This is the reality of today's coin market, where treasures like this become more valuable the longer they exist. What you're looking at is something that feels like holding pure fortune, a coin that carries the energy of a discovery that can lift you into a world of wealth and astonishment. Collector advice for this treasure is simple but crucial. Inspect every 1985 D quarter with absolute focus. Look for the green spats, they are your beacon. Examine both sides carefully. Search for the sharpness in Washington's profile and the aged character in the reverse. These clues are the keys to unlocking one of the most powerful hidden treasures in modern United States. Coinage. Patience is everything. Precision is everything. Because once you spot the right one, your hunt doesn't just end, it transforms into triumph. And in closing, remember this truth. The 1985 D mint Washington quarter with green spats is more than a rarity. It is a masterpiece created by time, struck by the mint, and refined by destiny. And every day, next coin, number 4. The 1984 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is one of those coins that reminds collectors that not every treasure announces itself loudly. Some treasures whisper. Some hide. Some blend into everyday life until the right pair of eyes sees the truth behind the surface. And this 1984 with D quarter, especially in extra fine condition, with that undeniably beautiful untouched look, is exactly that kind of discovery. Quiet on the outside, extraordinary on the inside. To understand the power of this coin, you must step back into the Denver Mint of 1984. It was a year of massive production. Millions upon millions of quarters pouring out of the presses. The mint was running at full capacity, focused on efficiency, speed, and volume. Nobody imagined that in the middle of this industrial rush, a very limited number of coins would emerge with sharper details, richer metallic presence, and a preservation quality that would survive 4 decades with almost unbelievable strength. The 1984 Dash quarter wasn't expected to attract attention. It wasn't expected to be rare. But numismatics has a beautiful way of proving everyone wrong. What makes this coin instantly mesmerizing is its visual presence. In extra fine condition, the details of Washington's portrait feel alive as if they were struck only a short time ago. The jawline, the curls in the hair, the smooth yet powerful profile, all retained with clarity that only a preserved planche can hold. The coin glows softly, reflecting the type of shine that collectors immediately recognize as the mark of something special. Even the smooth open spaces show a calm brilliance untouched by excessive wear. The Denver Mint's D stands proudly as a mark of identity, anchoring this piece as part of one of the strongest historical mintage years in the United States. Coinage. Its beauty doesn't stop at the surface. The composition, the way the metal settled, the sharpness of the strike, all combined to make this coin stand out from the millions produced in the same year. The reverse still carries the boldness of the eagle's wings, the defined feathers, and that commanding stance symbolizing American heritage. Every preserved detail becomes a piece of the coin story, a chapter that survived decades of circulation where most coins lost their brilliance long ago. This is not just a quarter, it is a preserved artifact of the mint's craftsmanship, a survivor of a world that does not often allow coins to remain this perfect. The rarity of this 1984 with D quarter in extra fine condition is far greater than most collectors realize. Because while the Denver Mint produced millions, almost all of them lived a hard life. They paid for gas, food, and school lunches, bus rides, and everything else that wears down a coin until it becomes a faint, tired shadow of its original form. But this coin, this very limited group of beautifully preserved pieces escaped that fate. They were protected, stored, shielded, or simply untouched in a pocket or drawer for decades. And because of that, they now stand as some of the most desired modern-era Washington quarters. These coins are not just rare, they are fiercely competed for, sought after like hidden treasure, and recognized as powerful pieces in the modern collector market. Now we reach the moment that makes collectors lean forward the current market value. In today's exploding demand for rare Washington quarters, the 1984 with D Mint Washington quarter in extra fine, beautiful fine condition carries a staggering value of $138,000. A treasure-level figure that continues rising with every passing year. This value isn't a dream. It's a real current ever-increasing number driven by collectors, auction bidders, and the unstoppable demand for rare modern US's. Coinage. When you hold a coin like this, you are not just holding a collectible. You're holding the weight of value, the energy of rarity, and the astonishing truth that some pieces of metal become treasures simply because destiny preserved them. For collectors searching for this extraordinary coin, here is the key. Study every 1984 with D quarter with absolute focus. Look for the crisp details. Look for the beauty in the fields. Look for the striking strength of the design and the lack of excessive wear. Extra fine condition is your signal that you may be staring at a treasure that survived untouched for decades. Patience will reward you. Precision will reveal what others overlook. And the moment you find one, you realize you've discovered something most people will never see in their lifetime. In conclusion, the year 1984 with D Mint Washington quarter in extra fine condition is not just a coin, it is a miracle of survival, a fragment of American minting history, and a treasure that has grown into extraordinary value. And right here on US Coins Worth Secrets, we bring you the freshest, newest updates every single day so you never miss the next hidden treasure waiting for discovery.